Hey everybody, it's GGB Coles Poppers, and I'm so disappointed on my college basketball upset of the day for yesterday. One stinking point away from sending that game to overtime. Creighton, why? Why do you do this to me? I pick you, and then you miss a free throw. You could have sent the game to overtime, guys. God! Oh, I could kill Creighton right now. But before we go into the Wednesday pick, the pick I'm going to have to do to get myself out of this 0-2 hole that I found myself in, let's go over the games that were on Tuesday. First o'clock at 4 o'clock, number 8 Creighton, number 5 Kansas. What did we learn about both teams? We learned that Creighton actually can compete against the big boys. We learned that Creighton's actually a really good basketball team this year and has a chance to go all the way. They're probably one of the best teams in the country in my opinion. Unfortunately, they did get a bad break against Kansas. But still, very good team. Has a bright future ahead of them. Colorado number 12, Tennessee. We didn't learn that much about Tennessee. We already knew that they were good and probably going to beat Colorado. Colorado hung in there for a little bit, which shows me that Colorado is actually a better team than most people are giving him credit for. But against the Pac-12, so anything's possible because no one's over there is really that good. Other than I'd say Oregon's a pretty good basketball team this year. I think Arizona State has a chance of being really good. And maybe they have two teams in it. Number 14 UNC at number 3 Iowa. We learned one of two things. Either Iowa is dominant. Three players scored more than Garza today, and they still won. It was a drubbing as well. It was not even close. The Iowa Hawkeyes just washed the floor with the UNC Tar Heels. It was not. It was horrible. It was bad for UNC, and this is not a UNC team that I think good. That's a weird thing to say, but like last year, I thought that was a fluke year. I don't know if it is anymore. This is not the UNC team that we all expect to be fantastic this year. This is not a good UNC team, really, at all. Number 22, Ohio State and Notre Dame. So either one of two things is true. Either Ohio State is not good, which is the one I'm leaning towards. I don't think Ohio State is that good. Or Notre Dame's a better team than I give them credit for. But they're Notre Dame. Basketball? No, not really. They're not good. Never are they good at basketball. So I'm not going to go against history and say that Notre Dame's now a good basketball team. It's not a good basketball team. Ohio State did not do well. It made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of errors. They were able to overcome it, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against Big Ten competition. You're talking about going against teams like Michigan State, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin. All those teams are really good this year. Adding on to the fact that you probably still have Michigan left. You still have Michigan to play, and Michigan's a really good basketball team this year. Probably should be top 25. Rutgers, some of these teams from the Big Ten are really good. And if you're Ohio State, you can't play as badly as you did against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a bad basketball team, and they almost beat you. If you play that poorly against literally anyone else I just listed, they will beat you. It's not even going to be close. They will destroy you. They will wipe the floor with you if you play the way you played today. Penn State at number 15, Virginia Tech. This was a surprise for me. I did not expect this at all. As a Penn State basketball fan, I've learned to not expect great things. But this squad this year, what is so impressive about it from what I've seen, we lost that one game to Seton Hall, and that was a weird game. And I don't really love that we lost that game because it was in overtime, and we could have won it. But this squad, it looks like it keeps getting better. And what the amazing thing about this is the person that dominated against VCU about a week ago, I guess, Seth Lundy, he was amazing in that game. He scored 0 points today. We still dominated. It seems like it's a different player every game that is their best player. And that's what you need for a team because matchups are going to work out differently. If each player can take advantage of their matchup at a given opportunity, this Penn State team is going to be dangerous in a few weeks. And I think that win against number 15 Virginia Tech shows because Virginia Tech already showed us that they're no scrubs. The fact that they were able to really wipe the floor with them is really impressive. I think this Penn State team really has a shot at going far in the Big Ten and probably going to make March Madness, in my opinion. This game changed a lot for me. I was expecting us to hang in there maybe a little bit, but to just wipe the floor with Virginia Tech, I think we could make a play for the Big Ten. I really do. I know this is probably an overreaction, but this is really good. Number 6, Illinois, number 10, Duke. What did we learn? I learned that Illinois is really, really good. I was saying it. Everyone was fading them because of the Baylor game and how badly they played in the second half. I would never fade Baylor in this. I mean, I would never fade Illinois. Illinois is too good of a basketball team this year, and I think it's between 3 teams that are going to win the Big Ten. Oh, actually, 4. I think Illinois is really good. I think Wisconsin is really good. I think Iowa's the best of all of them, but Illinois or Wisconsin can definitely make a play at the Big Ten, adding to the fact that, man, is Michigan State always good. Tom Izzo is a fantastic head coach. I'm never going to bet against Tom Izzo. It's just not going to happen. And then Syracuse at number 21, Rutgers. What did we learn? We learned that Rutgers is good. I mean, I think we already knew that from considering how well they played last year. They were playing in the RAC, so I don't know how exactly they lose. They never lose in the RAC. But let's get into the Wednesday games. We just went over the Tuesday games. So Wednesday, we have about 8 games. So let's go over them real quick. So, 8 games between ranked teams. You have ranked teams. There's only one ranked matchup, and I'm not picking that game. So let's go over the easy ones that I'm going to get out of the way right away. 6 o'clock, Robert Morris at number 11, West Virginia. At number 6 o'clock, Abilene Christian. At number 17, Texas Tech. And SFA at number 2, Baylor. These are all teams that are just... the only one I really think is a good basketball team normally is SFA. Stephen F. Austin's normally a consistently good basketball team. Honestly, normally does keep it closer with those good teams. The fact is, I don't think that's an indictment of how good the Stephen F. Austin program is. It's normally a really good basketball team. I think it's how good everyone thinks Baylor is this year. They're favored by 23 points, and there's a reason why. Baylor is so good and possibly one of the favorites to win it all. I mean, them and Gonzaga, I think, are just head and shoulders above. Although, I don't know, Iowa seems really good this year. I think Iowa definitely has a shot at winning it all. They're just so good right now. They're playing such good basketball. And the fact that Luka Garza wasn't absolutely insane tonight, and they still dominated, I mean, last night, okay, but is really how good I think this Iowa program is going to do, and I think it's going to go a long way. But Northern Iowa is also pretty good normally, as against number 19 Richmond, which is why, wait, never mind. Robert Morris is normally a mediocre basketball team. They normally make the playoffs every now and then. But they're not going to beat number 11 West Virginia. And Abilene Christian is definitely not going to beat number 17 Texas Tech. So let's just get those games out of the way. Other game that I don't think is going to be close at all, Texas State at number 13 Texas Tech. I mean, at number 13 Texas. Texas is really good this year, guys. A lot of people forget about Texas, mainly because it's not normally a basketball team, not normally a team that we expect to be really good. But watch out. Shaka Smart has these guys playing phenomenally well. You're talking about the team that beat UNC. They beat... that's their only signature. They beat Indiana. They sweep the floor with Indiana. It was not a good game by Indiana. But I think that Indiana's a good basketball team. So I think it's impressive just how Texas is playing. They lost very close to Villanova. And honestly, they had a shot at winning that game. So I'm just telling you, watch out. Texas is going to be... It could be one of those teams that everyone's expecting, like a Final Four of a Gonzaga, Baylor, Iowa. It could be one of those teams that's a bracket buster because Texas, the Longhorns have been playing disciplined basketball and they've been playing phenomenally well. And I just don't think the Texas State Bobcats have a chance to compete with that. So let's go the other ones that are they're single-digit favorites, and that's why I'm interested in them. I was considering picking this first one, Rhode Island at number 13, Wisconsin, mainly because Rhode Island's it's a really good basketball team normally. It's a team that consistently makes the playoffs, and that's what you want in an upset, is a team that's consistently good, going against a top 25 team. But the fact is, Wisconsin's going to want a bounce back after that bad, close loss at Marquette, which really hurts because the guy missed the foul shot. That game should have gone to overtime. If you block out Wisconsin, it goes to overtime, which is why it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt for the Badgers. They're going to want to come out and they're going to want to punch Rhode Island in the mouth, and I think they're going to do that, which is why I'm not picking them. Not going to pick it against a team that just got upset, and they're going to be mad. They're going to want to prove themselves. And then there's UNI at number 19, Richmond. And the fact is, I picked against Richmond Monday, and it didn't work out horribly for me. Wofford actually held that to a close game. I think they only lost by 5 points in the end. But the fact is, UNI is a pretty good basketball team normally. They're normally a 15 seed, but they consistently make the playoffs. They're consistently one of the best one of the best other conferences. I don't know what conference they're in, but they're consistently really good. So I was considering picking this one. Then the the final one caught my eye, but let's go over to the last one. Number 4, Michigan State at number 18, Virginia. And I just, no. I refuse to pick Virginia in this matchup. I just, even though they're favored by 1.5, no. I don't believe in the Cavs this year. The Cavs are not a good basketball team. No, not from what I've seen. They almost lost to Kent State. And while I'm giving a lot of credit to the MAC, they've definitely seemed to have turned out. I think you got Ohio, who's really good this year. I think you got Kent State, who's also really good this year. And Buffalo is always good. So MAC, it's going to be an underrated conference that people should watch because those 3 teams are playing really good basketball right now. And I'm interested to see how the MAC turns out. But I can only give the MAC so much credit. Virginia shouldn't have had a close game. That game shouldn't definitely never have gone to overtime. They gave up like 5 rebounds at the end of the game. Block out and get 1 rebound and you close out the game. You gave Kent State 5 shots to shoot a 3. Guess what? They made 1. And then they went to overtime with you. And while you won in overtime, it's against Kent State. And I just don't have faith in you anymore, Virginia. I don't believe in you. The fact is, Michigan State's playing really good basketball right now. They're playing probably one of the best in the country. That's why they're number 4. And the only people that are behind are Gonzaga, Baylor, and Iowa. And we're talking about 3 of the best teams coming to the country right there. Michigan State's playing really well. And I'm not going to pick against Michigan State when they're on a hot streak. And I'm not going to pick against Tom Izzo. I'm not going to pick against that program. It's too good of a program for me to want to pick against it. Never mind. Finally, the game I'm going to pick. It's at 6:15. Indiana and number 20, Florida State. Florida State is favored by 1.5 in this one. I just like Indiana. I think they're a really good basketball team this year. Everyone's not liking them because they lost pretty badly to Texas, but Texas is a really good basketball team this year, guys, and I think a significantly better basketball program than Florida State. Florida State lost too much talent. And you saw what happens when you lose too much talent and you're not Duke this year. It's a significant decrease. Dayton lost Obi Toppin. Do you see them in the top 25 anymore? They were like top 5 last year. You lose talent, which Florida State did. I think they lost 2 players to the draft. Both of them were drafted in the 1st and 2nd round. So, yeah, Florida State lost some serious talent. Indiana is really good this year. This has all the makings of an upset. It's on ESPN2, by the way, if you want to watch it. I really want to get to 1 and 2 personally. I would really like it if Indiana can help me out here. Anyways, this is GGB Coles Pepper saying adios amigos and go Hoosiers.